Okay, last time I talked, I mentioned I had COVID again, um, had tiredness and muscle fatigue while recovering from that. My wife was applying for a grant, so she was super busy, so I ended up overdoing it in terms of looking after the house and the kids and everything, and injured my back carrying too much. And yeah, I was like, feeling like maybe I'm on the mend from that, but like that very day, I cooking dinner, I like the bench was just so crowded because like nobody had a moment to put everything away, so I was just like working in a little corner of the bench, cutting some lettuce, and I cut the end of my thumb off. So like just like 2 millimeters, and it's healing. It's healing really well. That was like a bit over 2 weeks ago, but like, yeah, just like you get tired, you overdo it, and there's this vortex. You just spiral down and increase the chances of something else going wrong, and then that makes everything worse. And it's just hard to dig out of that. And well, I'm working on digging out of that. And it's scary feeling like, because like in the 2020, I guess, yeah, when things got really bad, like the lockdown and stuff, yeah, I spiraled down really hard, and yeah, now I've been being able to work again, and it's really satisfying to me to be able to work, and just feeling how close the it is to just falling back down there. I'm just like, it's scary, but like I'm really resting a lot, and also still doing like maybe a bit too much, but yeah. No, I'm here in the forest. There's nothing that I have to do. Like I'm doing social media, like, but like slow pace. Yeah. So I've been working. This was meant to be done. It's frustrating because like it was just meant to be like a little, spend a week on it, but well, yeah, some of the things that have come up that have taken my attention away from it are quite good, but it's still a little. I want it to be out by now. So, but this is an Android phone. This is Saga 33. Like, yeah, it works. Yeah, I had it all. I went through all the steps, how to export to Android, and got an APK file, put it on the phone, and it showed up as an executable. You tap on it, and it just brings up a black screen. Which is okay. Like it did something. So I was trying to like understand how to debug it, and yeah, long story short, Godot has like live debugging on Android. There's an option you can select when you're preparing an Android build to have it connect on the network to the computer and debug as it's running, but like, this wasn't working, and there's nowhere in the documentation what to do if this wasn't working. It just, like, the option just says check this option and it'll try to connect. Okay, but it shows no signs of having connected. So So I was reading like documentation and forum posts, like trying to nail this down, and I came across a reference to the phone being in development mode, or developer mode, something like that. And I thought I don't explicitly remember having enabled any developer mode. Like I got this phone, I went through all the options, and I set every option in the way that seemed to be good to me. I plugged into my computer and like it connects and stuff, but I didn't remember the words developer mode, so I looked up how to enable developer mode on Android. It was easy. You just go into the options menu, you go down to the system options, you go to where it says the operating system version number, and you tap the version number 7 times, and then developer mode is enabled. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, obvious, right? It's like, what the fuck? This is like, this is supposed to be like professional equipment. It's just like some, like, wannabe, like, cool hacker. Like, it's not cool. It's like that wouldn't be a cool secret in a game. That would just be kind of silly, but it's not in a game. It's in professional equipment. Like, yeah. So anyway, I got developer mode enabled, and then as soon as I did that, like, it connected. I could, like, when I ran it, and then I paused in the Godot editor, then it showed me what lines of code it was failing at, and it was just all worked out fine. And I mean, yeah, I've several years back I had a go at porting some of my games to Android, and I did end up releasing GlitchFunk, but I never got like live debugging working. Like I did like very trial and error. A lot of hacks. But yeah, honestly, I don't remember the details of what were my blockages at the time, but I have to wonder if, like, one of the reasons my games haven't been on Android for years is this absolute juvenile, like, completely unprofessional failure to list a fundamental option in the options. And anyway, I have it working, and like I could release it as it is now, but there's just like a few little, like, handling the UI positions being in the right places for different woods or in portrait mode, and it'd just be nice to get that all great. But like, there you go. Michael Bro game on an Android phone. Gonna happen. Yeah, so my well, you know, I try and like strategize with a few different concurrent goals. Like, one of the goals of that was to restore things that I've made in the past sort of stop working to have it be available, just because that's nice. One of the goals is I was running out of money and releasing something that should have been really quick to do. That will hopefully, like, I mean, it's for the first time on Android. Like maybe, like last time I released a game on Android, it made like $300. So I don't have high hopes for the platform, but yeah, and just getting it back on the Apple Store would be also nice for potentially income. But kind of my main thrust was I just wanted to go through the whole process in the Godot engine with taking to Android and like whatever platforms I might be thinking of releasing on, and just experience the whole process from start to finish with a small project, and to find out whatever things might like trip me up that for doing a bigger project would be good to have planned in from the start. And yeah, from that perspective, it was a great success. I've learned a lot about how the Godot way of doing things works, and yeah, on the whole, I'm happy with it. But I can see ways that I've organized my current prototype that I should refactor for it to really scale to what I want to do. Yeah, just like conceptual. One thing that's weird is like the standard way of saving to a file. When you load back from it, it converts all your integers into floats. Like, why? It's like now that I know that happens, I can work around it, but it's a weird decision. And really the only design decision I've come across in Godot that I just like that's just a bad idea. They justify it that they're using like some JSON, and that's what that does. I'm like, well, like, don't use that then. It seems bad. Anyway, like I can not use that way of saving files, or I can just be aware that it will try to convert my integers. But it's one of those things that's really good to know about in advance, because like most of the time, if an integer is actually a float, like it's not going to break anything. So the game could run for a couple of minutes, just like contaminating more integers, turning them into floats, until you try and like take the modulus of one of them and then it crashes. And so you have a unpredictable crash in a variable that's not necessarily even the variable that came from the save file, that is not at the time that it's loading, it's just some other time later, so it's not. Yeah, so like knowing about it is great. Yeah, I had one unpredictable crash that was hard to track down, but having tracked it down, I can avoid that ever happening again. Yeah, so that's all pretty good. Yeah, it's nice going back to one of my old games and like seeing what I was doing then and making a few little changes. Like, it's tempting to like spruce it up a lot, but I don't have time for that. But I found a few little things I could do that juice it a little bit without taking too much time for me. Yeah, so Saga 33 out soon again on iOS, like it was until Apple took it down for no reason a few years ago, and for the first time on Android. Should I like do a try to sell the game? It's just a little roguelike. Yeah, I used to be. I love roguelikes, obviously, like massive nerd. And for a long time, I was trying to make like a big, like the ASCII ADOM. Things that take hours to play and have hundreds of races and classes and lots of stuff and lots of others. Like, it's a lot of work to make, and yeah, it's not even my taste now, but so it's hard to really justify it, but anyway, Zaga was like when I took all that concept and just like threw away most of it to make something I could make quickly, and then in the process of making it, like I threw away even more because I had like in the original paper I had different factions of enemies, and you could bribe them to fight for you or to not fight, and it's hard to see in the simplicity of the design now how that would have fit, but like that was in the concept. What I think is the most interesting thing about the game the thing that surprised me that I didn't expect seeing people play it is that a lot of people struggled with not killing everything. Like the game has a series of levels. There's weird aliens that get in your way, and you have to try and get past the aliens to get to the end. And so many people play it, and they see the aliens and go, "Oh, how do I attack them? Hit, get hit back in return, and get through 2 or 3 levels, and run out of hit points and die." And then they say, "This is really hard. I don't get it." And they start from again and go to the start again and do exactly the same thing, and die. And it's like, "I don't get it. It's too hard." And it's like, I never. You're not. There's no reward in the game for killing them. Like yes, they're an obstacle. They're opposing you. It's a fighty fantasy sci-fi game, but there's no experience points. There's no ping of treasure or whatever it is, and yeah, it really surprised me how just like I don't know if it's like people's expectations from other games or human nature or some expectation I was somehow setting in the game subliminally without meaning to, but like the concept I had was they're an obstacle, you try and get past them with like flexibility and how you approach it, and getting into lots of fights seems bad. Like in like the vague fiction of the game, you're stranded on an alien planet. There's monsters. Like you want to get somewhere. Like the it doesn't make sense in that situation to run up to all the monsters and bash them. It makes sense to get out of there. Yeah, like most roguelikes do have experience points, and you are rewarded for killing it. But like, yeah, so I guess people just had that assumption, and I found it. I'd probably, I don't know. I feel like I might be a more mature designer now, and I might have a chance of figuring out some subliminal way of discouraging that. But at the time, I tried a few things and didn't work, and I ended up putting in the instructions like, please. I can't remember exactly what I put. But this is something to the effect that it's safer to run than to get into fights, and that people don't tend to pay a lot of attention to instructions, so that didn't really change a lot of people's behaviour. So yeah, it's an easy game, really, but some like fairly large proportion of people found it hard because they had this unexpected approach. And I found that really interesting. I think like the experience point for killing enemies mechanic is kind of bad, because like I'm okay with like simulated violence and killing things that aren't living things. Like there's not a moral harm in that, but it's a weird thing to be doing, to just be killing things, even like to simulate killing things when it's not, when there's no nothing directly to be gained for it, and it's weird for a game to reward just like going out of your way to kill everything, to act like an absolute monster. So I observing that, I sort of resolved that my games would not have experience points and not have direct benefits for, like, not to reward killing in any way other than simply elimination of the threat. And I haven't kept that resolution, because well, yeah, 868 hack, you have to kill things because they don't leave the screen even if you advance to the next level that's on the screen. So that's kind of pushing it. Like, yes, the thing you get for killing them is just elimination of the threat, but there's no other way to escape the threat, so it's, except like maybe on the very last level. So it's debatable whether that's breaking that resolution. But then Imbroglio certainly entirely revolves around the mechanic of experience points, because like it's actually an interesting mechanic that you can do things with if you do something more complex with it than just one number going up. And then single pass is kind of closer to Zygo 33, like it's a series of levels. If you leave the level, any opposition is left behind, but some enemies drop treasure, so that's, yeah. Plus, like, implicitly, you gain information about your wands by zapping and potentially killing enemies that you otherwise would have no reason to. So yeah, I think it was a nice plan, but I've made better games hopefully by not doing that. Anyway, yeah, that was just a train of thought. Okay, I'm gonna go walk through the forest some more and then have dinner. So